What's going on, guys? Welcome to another edition of the RPO College Football. My name is Jerome Jones, and I'm here with the man, the myth, the legend. You already know who he is, Mr. Ray Roberts. Hi.
I'm good, Jerome. How are you?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Feeling better. Feeling better. I was in feel
Good.
well this week, so
Good.
feeling better. Glad to be back talking some college football. Especially, I kind of like doing it on the same day, but I feel like it don't give us enough time. You know, I
Mm-hmm.
kind of like having our opinions before the games and being able to talk about them right before the games. But I like our Wednesdays as well. But we have a special day, obviously, today.
Mm-hmm.
Like I say, I wasn't feeling good this week, but feeling better. We're on today, so let's get right. Let's get right into it because we got a lot to talk about. We had a lot of great games. It was so many games, Ray, that were really good games. Really couldn't narrow it down that much. Try to narrow it down even more, even more. It's this before we got on. It's still a lot of games, so we're gonna kind of fly through this a little bit, so we're not taking a lot of you guys' time. But let's get right into it, right? LSU versus Mizzou. Really good game, man. LSU 49, Mizzou 39. Mizzou was actually beating them at halftime, 25 to 17. LSU wound up coming back at the second round in the second quarter, or second half. Um, Jay Daniels, 3 touchdowns, 259 yards. Looked pretty impressive. What was your overall thoughts on this game, right?
Well, just what you said. Daniels had a really nice game. He also ran the ball for 130 yards on 15 carries. So he's responsible for 4 touchdowns. I think it was a very entertaining game to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Like we continuously say most weekends, though, not a lot of defense. So
Yeah. Yeah, it was very not a lot of defense at all, especially in the second quarter,
mm-hmm.
second half. I keep saying second quarter, second
Mm-hmm.
half of the game. But I mean, it's something going on with LSU's defense. I mean, I'm kind of wondering what's going on. They usually a really good defense, and they usually rely on the defense a little bit more than their offense. Now this year, they've been relying on their offense more than the defense.
And
What do you contribute that to?
I think it's well, for one, Brian Kelly is an offensive mind and he's a good offensive coach. Man, I try to keep it real. I'm not a huge fan, but he's a good offensive coach. And my thing is, like, LSU has been traditionally known for better defenses than offenses.
Yeah,
For one year when they had that crazy roster with Joe Burrow and just
bro.
ran
Yeah,
the table most of the year.
yeah.
It
Even then, the
seems,
defense is really good still.
yeah, I mean, like we always kid about LSU always having great defensive backs.
Mm.
Their defensive back play is not very good right now. And that's my question. Is Brian Kelly going to have the success in recruiting defensive players as LSU usually is that team? So I guess we'll find that
Yeah,
out
I
more.
mean, I feel like he still will. It's still LSU, still known as the DBU. I think it will have to be a couple of years where the DBs are not good, where people be like, you know what? I don't think that's a spot anymore. So
And that's my thing. Like again, I know Brian Kelly's a good coach, so
yeah, and I know
hire him.
he got a lot of good DB recruits coming in soon, like these next couple of years that were
I
committed
mean,
already. So
but even if you look at their defense now, Greg Brooks is really the only defensive back that stands out
yeah,
over the other guys. And again, like you said, they are traditionally known as a good, strong defensive team. And I'm not saying Brian Kelly won't get good defensive players. I just think I wonder if it's going to be the influx that it has been the last 30 years. So
yeah. No, I agree with that. I agree with that. All right, let's move on to our next game. Like I said, we're kind of high flying right now. We're gonna talk about the Oklahoma versus Texas game. That was a close game. 34 Oklahoma, 30 Texas. Texas was ranked number 3 at that time, and Oklahoma was ranked 12. What's your takeaway from this one, Ray?
the fact that again Oklahoma played Dylan Gabriel had a really good game, 23 of 38, 285. Ran the ball 14 times for 113 yards, scored
Mm-hmm.
2 touchdowns. I mean, their offense was pretty potent. Again, Texas has some work to do on defense if they want to be a top 5, a real playoff contender. They're right now they are because their offense is pretty good, and Quinn Ewers we know is a good quarterback. Jonathan Brooks, their running back, is very good. Jordan Whittington, their wide receiver, Xavier Worthy, a wide receiver. They're loaded on offense in Texas. But again, I think it'll come down to if they can find some defensive players or get stops. They just don't stop anybody right now. I'm not saying not at all, but you don't see where they're stopping teams 2 or 3 drives in a row where they get the ball back to their offense. So
100%. Yeah, I agree. I feel like with this game, if you like running and running backs, you got it here. Obviously, Gabriel running back for Oklahoma. But if you like seeing running backs, man, or running in general, this is your game. Gabriel was like trying for his life not to get sacked in this game. He's running around, making plays. He like a young Jalen Hurts for a second. He was looking really well. So I commend him for his play. He stepped up to the game. Like you said, Texas defense definitely needs to step it up because it wasn't like they wasn't getting to him or like it was terrible, but like it just seemed like they couldn't tackle.
No, that was my next word was going to be a very sloppy tackling, and that's why you run for over 200 yards.
Correct. Yeah, I agree. So good game. Texas is going to have to recover now. They're 5-2, so we'll see how that go. I guess I'm pretty sure they still be ranked because it was 3, but I haven't looked at the ranks yet, so we'll see. All right, let's get to our next game, and that's going to be Texas A&M versus Alabama. Now, this is the game that I took Texas A&M to win this game. They were actually winning at halftime, 10-17. So it was a good game in general. I think that Jalen Monroe stepped up, when he needed to in the second half. Got the 2 touchdowns in the third quarter. They got a safety in the fourth, kind of like cemented the whole thing. Ray, what's your total overall thoughts?
I actually, like you said, I think Texas A&M now, it was a good game, pretty entertaining type of a game. Jalen Monroe probably had his best game as a starting quarterback. 21 of 33, 321, 3 touchdowns. He did throw 1 pick, but it was like one of them where he just tried to make a play, tried to do a little bit too much. But he just needs to develop and progress and get better each week. And then I think Alabama will be okay. Right now, I think they're 9th or 10th right now, Alabama. Mm-hmm. So, they're making strides. They're getting better on defense and at quarterback. So I think they'll be okay. I worry about their defense, though, because they don't seem to get off the field when they need to.
Yeah.
So, but we'll see. It is Alabama. It's Nick Saban, defensive guy. So I think that whenever you talk about Alabama and Nick Saban, you think they're going to progressively get better each week. So we'll see.
Yeah. And shout out to my guy, Caleb Downs, playing as a freshman. Guy down here in Georgia, from Georgia. He played at Mill Creek in Georgia. We got to interview him last year. Playing as a freshman, and got that third quarter interception. I think that really turned the tides for the game, for sure. So shout out to him, man. Like, I love seeing guys before ball out. So shout out to Caleb Downs for sure. To our next game, and it's gonna be Wake Forest versus Clemson. So this game was a very low-scoring game, Ray. What was your thoughts on this one? Let me tell you the score. It was 17-12.
It was like one of the most boring games I saw last week, and you could say that there was some good defense in this game. Guys were hitting. I like that part of it. I don't mind the low score. I don't need to see 40, 38 scores every week. I'm fine with it. My question was, is Clemson going to wake up this year? Because they didn't play well in this game. They just didn't. They did everything they could to keep Wake Forest in the game. but I keep waiting for Clemson to hit that switch, man, push that button, and it just doesn't seem like it's going to happen right now. So
I agree. It's not looking well. And one of my questions for you, Ray, it just seems like they're trying to take the ball out of Klubnik's hand and keep running. Do you feel that way right now? It just seems like for some reason they don't trust him. He is young, but I don't know.
I do see that, Jerome. What I don't understand is the week before they let him throw the ball a decent amount, and he was pretty good. And then, like you said, this week they kind of like toned everything down. Was it the fact that they knew that they could just keep a low score and run the ball and beat Wake Forest in that way? I mean, that's fine if that's what your thoughts are. Yeah, it worked. Okay. So that's fine. But again, I just keep waiting for Clemson to put a complete game together. One week they're good on offense, and next week they're good on defense. I want them to put everything together and see what we were used to seeing with Clemson.
Yeah, and it's weird because we look at the roster, we look at the players that's on there, and we're like, man, this team is talented, but they just can't seem to put it together for whatever reason.
I mean, you see like a guy like Will Shipley, and they just need to find a way to get the ball in his hands besides for just running the ball. Get him out in the flat, get him in the screen, use him in the screen game. The kid's a good football player, but you seem to be like not. Part of me thinks because their offensive line is not great that they don't trust their offense, and maybe that's what it is, Jerome.
Maybe, you might be right, Ray. You might be right. So, all right, let's move on to our next one. This game's going to be near and dear to you, Ray. The Notre Dame versus Louisville game, 10 versus 25. Louisville wins 33-20. I'm going to let you take over, Ray.
Do you want to hear my rant? We'll do that at the same time. Or
go ahead. Do you?
I mean, Jerome, this had me and Ryan going back and forth for days, man. Like, and I know Ryan does some stuff for Notre Dame, works for a different company who like covers Notre Dame, to the point where he was a little annoyed with me because I was listening to his podcast and I was remarking on the game, and they were not happy with what I was saying. I like Marcus Freeman, but if you put a bullet to my head right now, he's not the guy.
I was literally about to ask that same question.
Jerome, like, and the thing is, what I don't understand is, I know in today's ultra sensitive world, you can't point the finger at anyone anymore, because then you're singling people out. Okay, well, this is what I said to them, or the guys that cover Notre Dame, and this is what bothered them. I used their words against them, and then they got mad at me for using their words against them. Get me wrong. I thought Notre Dame was going to be better this year. I did. I thought the quarterback would bring in Sam Howell in. It was going to make, or I'm sorry. I thought bring in their coach Sam Hartman in, Sam Howell. I thought bringing Sam Hartman in was going to make them a better offense, and I'm still waiting to see that better offense.
Correct. Yeah, I mean, I feel like y'all kind of abandoned the run game a little too much, a little too fast. Hartman had 3 picks in the game. As soon as I started seeing him start throwing some picks, I would have leaned more on the running game. I know you guys started like trailing at some point, so you need to pass the ball. But you know, it was Louisville who was taking control of the game. You know, running the ball. You know, doing what they needed to do, and you guys were not running the ball, creating turnovers. You know, Estamine, I think I said his name right this time.
Yeah.
He only had 10 attempts in this game. And yeah, like I understand that his average wasn't good, but you got to keep running though. Did he get injured or something?
He did not. And here's the problem, Jerome. You keep running the same plays with him over and over and over again. You need to find, again, I just got done talking about the Clemson running back. You can find a different way to get the ball in his hands.
Correct.
It can't be just run off guard every play. And then I understand once Estime is a physical runner, once he gets into the secondary, he's a difference maker. He absolutely is.
Yeah.
But you got to find different ways to get him into the secondary. And their running backs are good. They're very good, but you can't just run the same handful of plays and expect them to be successful. Man, here's the thing. I am a Jeff Brom fan, the coach for Louisville. I do. I like him. My thing is, again, I used what I was told by or what I've been hearing from different people that cover Notre Dame. Don't get me wrong. I'm using my own opinion too. Obviously, I get that. But I keep waiting for them to play good football, and just they haven't.
Yeah.
They've not played good football. They played okay against the first 3 or 4 games of the season. The NC State game was the only team with any real resistance against us in the first 4 games. Central Michigan. I mean, so we beat up on them teams. And even honestly, I went to the Central Michigan game. We did not play that game that well in that game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and here's what I said, and that kind of bothered everybody. Like, who's a better team, Notre Dame or Louisville?
Apparently Louisville.
Well, no. I get that now, but Notre Dame went into the game.
No. Yeah, Notre Dame.
Notre Dame went into the game as a 6 or 7 point favorite. So everybody thought they were going to win by at least a score, if not a little more. So here's the thing: everybody said that. Whose fault is it that they didn't get the win then?
He's a coach.
Well, Jerome, that's what bothered me.
Yeah.
All I really said was Marcus Freeman has not done a good job coaching the team this year. And then I hear, well, you can't give up and blah, blah, blah. And I got to remind these people, because I know they're all younger than I am. I've been a Notre Dame fan for 53 years. I will never give up on the program. I won't. But if you're asking me, again, I like Marcus Freeman, man. He's a good coach. He's a good defensive coach. And he's a great guy. Here's the thing, though, man. I don't need him to be a great guy. I need him to be a great coach.
Correct.
People don't understand that.
Not to be able to call the plays right. I mean, is your offensive coordinator the one calling the plays, or is it him?
I'm assuming it's the offensive coordinator, which is fine. I got Al Golden coaching my defense right now, which is fine. He's a solid coach.
Yeah.
Marcus Freeman, again, has been a very good defensive coordinator wherever he's been.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not questioning his credibility as a coach. I'm questioning, is he the right head coach for this team right now? I don't know that. I'm sorry, I don't know that. I mean, and here's the thing that bothers me, and this is what I think what bothers people when I say it. Marcus Freeman does not coach confidently. If you watch him coach, he's not confident. He's squirming. I mean, I watch a guy like Jeff Brom, who's been his first year at Louisville this year, but I listen to his interviews. He's confident.
Yeah.
He knows what he wants his guys to do it, and they go out and they do it. Mike Elko from Duke, who completely outcoached Marcus Freeman the week before, and we got lucky to win that game. And then I hear, oh yeah, we're lucky to win that game. We're one interception away from being 7-1. Okay, if you want to go there, go ahead, man. I know.
Can't play the one-up game, man. You can't play the one-up game.
Here's the thing: we could say that, and I get it. It was an Ohio State game. We had a chance to pick the quarterback off and win that game. I get that, and that's a correct statement. But again, like you said, if Eli Manning doesn't throw in, if what's his name, Asante Samuel picks off Eli Manning in the Super Bowl. New England goes undefeated that year, and the Giants don't win the Super Bowl. Yeah, I mean, it's just, I know people don't remember this, but Joe Montana wins his second Super Bowl against Cincinnati. 3 plays before he throws a touchdown pass, he throws an interception right here to a linebacker who doesn't catch the ball. But you know what? 30, 40 years later, a week later, no one remembers that anymore. All you ever remember is you lost. Okay.
Yep.
So I'm tired of Jerome. and you know this well, and anybody who's a football fan knows this. So I'm not telling anybody something they don't know. Every game comes down to 2 or 3 plays that you did or didn't make, and you win or you lose. Period. I don't want to hear you justifying it because it's not justified. You lost to a team you were favored by a touchdown against. Someone's to blame. You don't want to blame the players. I get that. They're young players. So who do you blame? Sorry. I'm sorry if Marcus Freeman is such a nice guy that you get offended by me questioning how good of a coach he is. I'm sorry about that, but I'm still going to do it. Sorry.
No, I hear you, Ray.
I mean, dude, it's just simple. I've been a Notre Dame fan for over 50 years. When I want to win, I was told by everybody, including the people that argue with me or yelled at me the other day, that Notre Dame was good enough to compete for at least a playoff spot.
Yeah, I agree. Me and you were talking about it, and I thought so too. I'm not a Notre Dame fan. I don't like Notre Dame, but
right. Are they a good enough team to compete for a playoff spot right now?
Oh.
So whose fault is that?
The coach.
That's all I'm going to say. All right, I'm done. We're done talking about Notre Dame now.
I got you. All right, let's cool down Ray a little bit. We got 2 more games we're going to talk about real quick. All right. Let's do the Arizona versus USC game. This game came down to a triple overtime win by USC, and they won the game by 2 points. And that was crazy. So the final score was 43 to 41. What happened, Ray? I mean, was beating them at halftime.
You know what, Jerome? We keep talking about it every week.
Defense.
USC is a good team. Their defense is not good.
Yeah.
Just not good. It's the reason why they won't win a national title.
Yeah.
Reason.
They'll be able to put up all the points they need, but that defense keep giving up a lot of points.
Arizona is an average offensive team, but you made them look good.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree.
I mean, Noah Fafati, their quarterback, 25 of 35 for 300 yards and 5 touchdowns. That's more than he did 2 games previously combined.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, like, if you want to act like USC's defense, and I know some USC guys, a guy I work with, and I go back and forth, because Notre Dame plays USC tonight. So, preface it by saying that. Well, who's a better team, Notre Dame or USC? Right now, USC's a better offense. Notre Dame's defense is when they have 11 guys on the field. Another coaching issue. They're a good defense. Are they good enough to slow down USC? I think they are. I'm not going to get into. I guess we're going to pick the games a little later. I think.
Yeah.
And I honestly don't know what to think about Notre Dame and USC right now. I'm going to probably pick Notre Dame in the game, but I'm not feeling great about it. So.
Yeah. And yeah, we'll talk about that game later on. But this game here, man, it came down to the wire. It was if you like passing and all that, this is your game. I mean, if you like excitement, your game. I did not expect this to be the way it was with Arizona in this game, and it was definitely a tight matchup. I don't think it should have been this close. USC still wins, but
the other problem is, Jerome, the special teams are not very good on USC either.
Correct. Yeah.
So, I mean, like, you give up 500 yards of offense, over 500 yards of offense, and your special teams are not good. Why do you think you're going to compete for a championship?
Yeah.
You're not.
Yeah.
You're not.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if
I think everybody's kind of blinded by the Caleb.
I get that. Watching him play is fun. It is. It's fun. It's fun watching him play, man. Mm-hmm. But again, eventually, even Superman is going to run into a piece of kryptonite, and it's not going to be there for him one game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just like I love watching Caleb Williams play. I do. Again, we talk about it every week. The kid's going to be the first pick in the draft. There's no question about that. Not to me, anyway. Of course, some GM will try to tell me that there's a reason why you shouldn't take him early or first, but you're wrong. Okay, the kid's he's a special player. he's fun to watch. But like you said, you can only hide your warts for so long, dude, before it comes back and bites you in the rear end. And that's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for them to play a good team. And I don't even know their schedule. Do they play a good team? I'm not sure they do. But I mean,
I would say you guys, but
we're not good right now, so I don't agree with that either.
Definitely. Well, we'll see. We'll definitely see. All right. Well, let's talk about our last game last week real quick, and that will be Colorado versus Arizona State. So these Arizona teams are having good games, both losing, but Arizona State 24, Colorado 27. What's your takeaway from this one? Because again, Arizona State was winning at halftime. 17-14 to Colorado. Colorado kind of slowed in the fourth quarter, but what's your take on this?
Yeah, another game where it's a little weird because you would think Deion Sanders, you think he's defense, but no. Colorado's offense is pretty good. Their defense is not great. It's just not great, dude.
Yeah, and one of the things that I was hearing, and we're going to actually touch on last night's game before we go into our picks, but one thing that I've heard, Sanders has the most offensive yards in college football right now, right?
Yeah.
And then, but the thing is, he also is going on a historical run on how many times he's been sacked.
Yeah.
Their offensive line is not that good. No. So this kid is pretty incredible. The fact that he's getting sacked as much as he is and still leading the conference and pass yards. And I think it has been affecting him. And again, we'll talk about last night's game in a second. But I mean, Colorado's in trouble right now. I mean, they're looking good. They were winning games, but I mean, I kind of expected that though. I kind of expected they was going to need some help. Defensively, they're going to definitely need some help for sure. I think if they want to do as good as they are this year and do even better, they're going to have to get Sanders to come back another year. And I don't know if that's going to be I don't think that's the move he's going to take right now. But he might go straight to the NFL. But I mean, yeah, Sanders is the one that's really covering up a lot of issues with this team.
He is. He's covering
kind of like Caleb.
Yeah, I mean, he's covering up the fact that their offensive line is not good. Mm-hmm. They give up pressure all the time.
Yeah,
he kind of bails them out a lot of times. The fact that you're doing that, your defense is not great. It's a problem. I mean, it's going to be a problem. I didn't even think about Sanders, like you just said about him leaving after this year. Like you said, it's if I were giving him advice, I would tell him, yo, man, if you think you're a first round pick, go.
Yeah.
Go. I mean, I absolutely. I mean, I think if nothing else, a team will jump on you because you've put up great numbers.
Correct.
And in today's offense, even in the NFL, where everything is like so spread open and everything is spread offense, zone read this, like especially when you have like teams like Miami and San Francisco using that zone read outside run. You put Sanders in an offense like that with a good running back, kid's going to be a playmaker. I mean, don't. My question is, can his dad talk him into coming back one more year and making some kind of a run, dude? I wouldn't be surprised if that happens.
I wouldn't be surprised either.
And I just looked at USC's schedule. They play Utah next week, and then they play Oregon 3 weeks from now. So there are going to be tests for them, way more than Notre Dame will be, to be honest with you. Because they're conference games, and they could win or lose a close game to Notre Dame tonight. And if they take care of those games in conference, they're fine.
Definitely. All right. Well, that's going to do it for our Week 6 review. I want to touch on a little bit of Week 7 because Week 7 started already, and it's crazy. obviously we on Saturday already. We kind of went through some of the Thursday night games, Friday night games. But I had to talk about this game, right? Because it was very interesting to see this at 2:00 in the morning. The Colorado versus Stanford game. Now, this is a game, honestly, I was not even ready to watch this game. It was a super late game. My friend Luke, who's been on our podcast before, he was talking about it in our chat room. We have a little chat room. Mm-hmm. And I was like, "Oh, let me click on this game because what's going on?" He was just like, "Uh-oh, Colorado." I was like, "Oh, okay, let me go look." And these goons are tied up. I'm like, "Wait, what?" So they went into double overtime and lost to Stanford, 46-43 last night. Very, very late night game. Colorado was favored by 13.5 in this game. It was a very interesting game. Like we was talking about, Colorado's defense is not there. Sanders is a very good player, man. 400 yards, 5 touchdowns. He was amazing last night. The issue was in that last overtime game, play, he threw an interception. Mm-hmm. And things happened, but he threw an interception that let Stanford run the ball a little bit and kick the field goal. I heard Stanford's kicker is really good, so that was almost automatic for him. Mm-hmm. It was an incredible game. I thought that no way that Stanford should have won that game, but they were down 29. Yeah, 29 at halftime, 29-0 at halftime. Mm-hmm. Roared all the way back, came to overtime. It was going back and forth, and then that last hoorah, they won the game. Ray, I know you say you did not watch the game. It was very late. But from what you heard and what you've seen, what's your total thoughts of this game?
Again, Stanford has 600 yards of total offense. Colorado, again, almost 2 touchdown favorites. This is a blow to them. Mm-hmm. This is going to be ammunition for the people that are not Deion Sanders fans. I mean, I hate to say it. It is what it is. Yeah. So you're going to have people that are going to root against him because he is Deion Sanders. He's has a lot of vibrato. He's very confident guy, and this is the kind of game that people that are kind of haters are going to feed on. And quite frankly, I'm a fan, but this is a disappointing game for me too. I mean, I didn't expect them to lose to Stanford. Stanford's a bad team.
Yeah.
But I mean, but when you play bad defense and you fall behind, this is what can happen to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I just think that when you say, like we say, right, when you're ahead so much in the game, you tend to put your feet off the gas a little bit. You're on the sidelines laughing and joking, not really paying attention, and then next thing you know, these teams are starting to come back on you, and you're like, and then it goes in from laughing and joking to kind of a panic mode. And I think once you get in that panic mode, you start messing up, you're not doing well, they starting to get on you. And it was home, which was crazy because when you're home, usually if this is an away game, I could see how the crowd started getting into it. They were home, so that kind of that's very disappointing when you're home and you can't win those type of games. That's very disappointing. One of the Stanford wide receivers had an incredible catch over Travis Hunter. Literally, Travis Hunter was in a great position, but he just literally just mossed him, took the ball right over his head, ran it in for a touchdown. That was the last touchdown of the game. And then obviously, like I said, the next series, Sanders threw that pick and then they got the field goal. But they were going tick for tack with this team, and they showed no fear, even being down 29-0, sorry, and won the game. So kudos to Stanford. I thought that was interesting. I didn't realize David Shaw wasn't there no more.
No, he's not the coach anymore.
Totally forgot about that.
Yeah, I mean, the wide receiver you're talking about is Alec Moner. He has a really strange pronunciation to his name, but he's a big, lanky receiver, which is the kind of receivers that Stanford usually likes. And he had a great game.
Yeah.
I mean, 295 receiving yards.
Yep.
3 touchdowns. That's craziness right there. But it just goes to show you, like, honestly, Jerome, Travis Hunter for Colorado had a really good game. 140 yards, 2 touchdowns, 13 receptions. Very good game. But when they needed him on defense, he seemed a little gassed.
Yeah.
So maybe you need to limit his stats, because if I was representing or giving Hunter advice, I would tell him to worry more about playing corner than playing wide receiver.
Yeah. I mean, he had 19 targets in that game. They was working him. And
they were.
A.O. Mayers was in there, and he's a bigger guy. You're gonna need all your energy for that. And
sure. I mean, I can't wait to see how many minutes or how many snaps he played, because we know early on he was playing way too many snaps.
Correct.
Like, you have a shutdown corner.
Correct.
You're asking him to be your best wide receiver, and I understand he's talented and he's that talented. But again, it didn't help you out on defense when you needed someone to shut down one of their wide receivers. Obviously, you couldn't get it done.
Yeah, and I agree with you, right? And this is only his first 2 touchdowns with Colorado being a wide receiver. So that tells you that he was playing a little bit way too much in this game.
Agreed. I just feel bad for Travis Hunter, because he played his rear end off.
Mm-hmm.
And in the end, when they needed him to do something to stop, and he just couldn't get the job done.
Yeah.
And it just goes to show you that Colorado's an improving team, but there are still holes in their roster for sure. So
correct. Yeah. They need more talent. They just need more talent.
They do.
Yeah. So, all right, that's gonna do it for that one. Now we're gonna get into our game picks. So I know last week I didn't write down our records. So next episode, which is gonna be Wednesday, I'm going to revise our records. I didn't write it down this time, but I know that Ray is a lot because I had a terrible week again. So I think I'm like 3 weeks behind with bad picks. So I got to redeem myself. I'm doing bad right now. So let's get right into it, Ray. Cincinnati versus Iowa. So Cincinnati favored by 5. They're at home. Who are you taking?
I'm taking Cincinnati.
Same.
Yeah. I'm not feeling great about the game.
Yeah.
I think Iowa State is a physical team. It'll probably be a close score. I think it should be a close score, though.
Definitely. I agree. I think it's going to be a close score. I think I'm going to give Cincinnati the edge just because of their quarterback.
Agreed.
But it's not a favorable game either, Ray. I agree with you.
Yeah.
All right, next we're going to go Michigan State versus Rutgers. Rutgers is at home. They're favored by 4.5. Who you got?
I'm taking Rutgers.
Rutgers?
Yep.
Yeah, I'll take Rutgers still. They played very well against Michigan when they did play.
They played. Their record does not show it, Jerome, but they've actually played good football this year. They have.
Yeah, they're 4-2 right now. But yeah, I agree with you. They're playing pretty decent right now. So I'm gonna give them that as well.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next game we got is TCU at home, favored by 5 versus BYU. Who you taking?
I guess I'm taking TCU in the game. Again, I'm not feeling great about the game, but I'll take TCU.
I might go BYU.
Right.
Yeah, I'm gonna go BYU on this one. I think BYU has a better defense, and the jury's still out for me with TCU. I'm trying to get their identity, just because they lost so many players too.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to get their identity still, and it seems like they're still trying to figure that out, in my opinion. So.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we got a really good game here. We got South Carolina versus Florida. South Carolina is at home. They are favored by 2. Who you taking?
I'm taking Florida in that game.
I'm actually doing the same, Ray.
Okay. I think Florida's a more athletic team.
Yeah.
I think that game could be a high-scoring game, which is surprising
I
because
agree.
South Carolina usually keeps the score down. But I think if South Carolina wants to compete with Florida, they need to put points up in this game. So
Definitely. No, I agree. All right, next game, might be my favorite game of this whole weekend. Washington 5-0 versus Oregon 5-0, 7 versus 8. Washington is at home. They're favored by 3. It's pretty much the pick 'em. Who's taking right?
I'm going to take Washington. I'm not feeling great about the game at all, but I'm going to take Washington. I think Washington is a sneaky roster, man.
They are, right, man. Like, I wasn't them in the beginning of the season, and then like after watching them a few times, like this Washington team is pretty good.
They're good, man. They're athletic. I like them. I
think the funny thing is, I don't think they have any big names on their like really names that
they just play good football. I mean, I agree with what you said. I think this is probably could be the best game of the day. It really could be. So
yeah, I'm gonna go Oregon just because I gotta admit, Bo Nick's been playing so well with Oregon. I'm not gonna take that away from him. He might bite me in the ass for saying that and praising him right now. Ever since he went to Oregon, man, he's been a completely different player. I love that about him. He's been rocking it. The team in general just been a really good team. We'll see about these defenses, but I mean,
I think part of it is playing against weaker defenses.
Yeah.
But I also think that just a change of scenery, playing an adult offense that's more tailored around you.
Yeah, I just gonna say that.
I think, and again, I like Bo Nix. I think he just kind of reminds me of Brock Purdy. Like his really good game film first couple years, and then even though it's the difference is that he left South Carolina, went to Oregon, and now he's playing better football. Where Purdy kind of fizzled out, you know.
Yeah. So. No, I agree. So we'll definitely see how that goes, man. Let's get to our next game. Texas A&M versus Tennessee. Tennessee is ranked number 9 right now. They're home. 4-1. Texas A&M's 4-2. Tennessee is favored by.
I guess I'm going to take Tennessee, Jerome.
I'm taking Tennessee as well.
I'm not crazy about the game, but it's fine.
Yeah, I agree. I think Tennessee's the better team. We'll see how they do against this team. Texas A&M been just disappointing me. By the way, Texas A&M, that was the first time I picked them to win last week. They didn't play horrible. Don't get me wrong. It was down the wire with Alabama, but I don't know. I just think that they're not going to just do it this week. So we'll see.
No, I think that Tennessee's a little bit of a better team.
Yeah.
I think they're both talented roster. I just think I keep waiting for Texas A&M to play up to their talent level, and they just don't ever really seem to do it. So
yeah, definitely agree. All right, let's get to Virginia Tech versus Wake Forest. Virginia Tech is at home. They're 2-4. Wake Forest is 3-2. Virginia Tech is favored by 1.5. Who are you taking, Ray?
I'm taking Wake Forest.
You got me on the same one. Taking Wake Forest as well.
I just like I like their defense better. I think I love the way their defense flies to the ball. I think Virginia Tech has some nice athletes, which they always do, but they have a hard time playing against teams that play more physical than them. And I think that this will be that game. So,
yeah, I agree. All right, let's get to our next. This line definitely moved a lot. So we're going to still talk about it, obviously. LSU versus Auburn. LSU's favored by 11 at home. Who are you taking?
I'm taking LSU.
Yeah, I was going to do that. I was going to do that anyway, too.
Yeah, I would
even without the line moving.
Yeah,
that line move though. I usually don't pick games that are like 11 plus points over.
Yeah,
this game definitely moved for sure. All right, UNC versus what the heck am I saying? UNC versus Miami. Miami is away. They're 4-1. UNC is at home. They're 5-0. They're favored by 3. Who you taking, Ray?
This is probably another game I think is going to be a really good game.
Yeah.
I'm having a hard time picking it. I'm going to go to North Carolina, though. I'm a Mac
Yeah,
guy, so,
I should have known. Yeah, I think right now UNC's the better team just because, again, quarterback position. I think Dre Mays is still a trending quarterback. I know a lot of people don't talk about him as much as last year, but I think he's still on a track to be one of the better quarterbacks in the country.
My thing is, after Miami's meltdown where they could have killed clock and won the game last week, this is a big game for them.
Yeah.
I'm still taking North Carolina, but this is a huge game for Miami.
Correct.
So we'll see.
All right. So next game, this might trigger Ray a little bit, but you got Notre Dame at home, 5-2 versus 6-0 USC. Notre Dame is still favored by 3 right now. They're at home. Who you taking in this one, Ray?
I'm going to take Notre Dame, but I'm going to admit it's just a homer pick.
I'm taking USC. I think this is the first time this year that I didn't take Notre Dame in the game. As long as the coaching and whatever's going on with you guys is going on, I can't trust you guys no more, man.
I agree.
I had you guys in the playoffs this year. I really did.
No, me too. And here's the thing: like if they don't want the season to be completely derailed, they need to win this game.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if you'll see. I mean, and don't get me wrong, you guys got a really good defense, so I might keep this a little bit like lower score. I would say like in the 20s. But if USC gets up and wind up getting 30, 40 points, I don't know if your offense can keep up.
We can't. If you take the run game equation from our team, we're not going to beat you.
Exactly.
Our running backs are the strength of our team.
Yeah.
And if you find a way to jump out to a lead and take away the run game, you'll probably be like Jerome. I took Notre Dame, and like I said, because I'm a Notre Dame fan. And if you ask me, do I feel good about taking them? No. But again, I do think that if Notre Dame, we're not going to make the playoffs. I don't think we're going to make the playoffs. I don't think there's a chance that we can. But if we don't win this game, there is zero possibility. Zero.
Yeah, 100%. And I think you will start hearing some rumbles about Marcus Freeman.
No, you won't, though. That's what bothers me.
You don't think so?
No, Jerome, because you'll hear it, but because people like Marcus Freeman so much, no one will pay attention to it. That's what bothered me. It wasn't that I had Ryan and some other Notre Dame people come at me. I don't care about that. I'm a big boy. I can handle it. What bothered me was, for one, two things. One, I used what they told me about Notre Dame going into the season against them, and they didn't like that. And two, it's like you can't question Marcus Freeman. Dude, it's not like he's been a head coach anywhere else.
Yeah.
No track record. So me telling you I'm not sure is no different than you telling me you are sure. Neither one of us are really sure, but we're both acting like we are. I mean, again, man, I don't want to kill the coach. I don't. I like Marcus Freeman. I think he's a great guy. I think he's a good defensive coach. Yeah, man, here's the problem. And we talk about this all the time, Jerome. You could be just a defensive coach or a coordinator, or you could just be an offensive coordinator. There's nothing wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
But when you are, and this is where, again, I got in complete disagreements with people. When you are the head coach, you cannot point a finger. And I don't care if you're doing it in the public or I don't care if you're doing it behind closed doors. You are 100% responsible, period. No excuses.
I agree. So, man, we'll see how that goes, man. And we'll definitely, I think that's going to be a good game.
I'm hoping for a win, Jerome, but I'm not going to lie. I'm ready to lose. If I lose, I would not be surprised.
Correct.
If we lose to USC 31-20, would I be surprised? No, we just got done losing to Louisville by 13 points.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man. Let's be real about it, man. You don't know if Marcus Freeman is a good coach or not, just like I don't know if he's a good head coach or not.
Correct.
But here's the difference. Marcus Freeman is just another football coach to me. I don't need him to be known as a coach.
Correct. You need wins.
Correct.
You need wins.
I want to win a national title.
I don't think if y'all, because this will make y'all what y'all have a fourth loss this year if this happened.
No, we're 5-2 right now.
Okay, third loss. I think that, and depending on what y'all do the rest of the year too, because you never know who can beat you guys at this point now. I think that Marcus Freeman will be still able to play one more season, but after that, the microscope will be definitely on him next year for sure. That's my opinion.
No, Jerome. Here's the thing. Should he be? Yes, he should be. Will he be? I don't know. I don't know that. I honestly don't know that. I think I hate to say this, man. I don't know. I didn't think that I was going to get all the pushback because Jerome, all I said is I don't even remember exactly what I said, but my whole point of it was you can't blame the coordinators. It's the head coach's fault. You can say, and I had to go back to the Ohio State game, but that's where it all started. Okay, we were playing decent football until then. Mm-hmm. And then we got a little bit derailed after that. And I'm not trying to blame anybody, but when you don't have 11 guys on the field for a defensive play or a stand, there's only one person responsible for that. You could blame the coordinator. You could blame the players. There's only one guy who's responsible for that, okay? And that was what people didn't like me saying. Ryan, dude, I argued with Ryan about that for an hour one night. And you know what? Ryan's a smart kid, man. He is. He absolutely is. But I get a feel sometimes. And you know what, Jerome? I do the same thing when I'm evaluating players. I get a feel about them. And I'm not saying I'm always right. I'm not saying I'm always wrong. I'm saying I'm right more than I'm wrong. And if you ask me the feeling I have right now, I have Marcus Freeman is not the right guy. That's my feeling. Now, can he prove me wrong? Absolutely. I pray every night he does prove me wrong. But until he does, it is what it is.
I hear you. I definitely hear you. All right, let's get to 2 games real quick. We're gonna do Mizzou versus Kentucky. So Kentucky is at home. They're Mizzou and Kentucky are 5-1. Who you taking there?
You know what, Drum? I'm not feeling great about this game either, but I'm going to take Kentucky only because they're at home.
Yeah, I'm doing the same. I'm doing the same thing and the same reason. I think Kentucky surprised me this year. I actually had them beating Georgia last week. That was a mistake. Mm-hmm. But I like this team. I think they're good. Mizzou is actually another surprising team. There are 2 surprising teams to me that are playing very well. I think this will be a good game. We'll see how it goes. But, this will tell me who's the better team out of the 2.
I'll be honest with you, Jerome. We talked a couple weeks ago or last week, I think it was, about how great the games were. This has the look of a really good college football day. Absolutely.
Yeah, this might match last week's. So we might get 2 back-to-back weeks of great games.
Close lines.
Yeah.
Teams that are playing in conference. It has the look of what really could be a great day of college football. So that's good for us.
I agree. All right, let's get to our last game because I think the NFL team might be getting on right after us. So let's get this in real quick.
Okay.
The UCLA versus Oregon State. That's our last game. So let me get to it because I just had it a second ago. Oregon State is at home. They're favored by 3.5. USC is number 8. Oregon State is number 15. They both only have 1 loss on their plates. One being 4-5, one being 5-1. Who you got, Ray?
I'm going to take Oregon State. Again, they're home. They're favored by over 3. The only thing that bothers me is it started out at 4, and now it's a little lower than that. That bothers me. But again, I'm going to take Oregon State. Again, they're home. we'll see.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the same thing just because they UCLA. I like UCLA. I still think they're working with a young quarterback that's still going through a little bit of growing pains. Very talented though, guy. Got like I say, we got to watch him play in person.
Yeah,
so he's a very talented quarterback.
We all know how talented Dante Moore is. It's just a matter of ability and mind and brain getting on the same page. When that happens, the kid's going to be a player.
No, I agree. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I liked it. I like that matchup. I think it's going to be a good game. It's going to be a good week. I really do think so. And it looks like last night.
No, it looks like a really good week of college football, which again excites me every week. So
Yeah, I mean, based on last night's games by themselves, we had a couple of Thursday night games too, but last night's couple of Thursday night games, all these games were like really close. Actually, just looking at it now, we had the Carolina game, the Coastal Carolina game versus App State. Had the game we already talked about with Colorado and Stanford. The Fresno game versus Utah State was a good game. Tulane versus Memphis was a good game. So I think we're gonna have a couple of good ones this week, man, and we'll see. So, but that's gonna do it for us today, guys. We do appreciate each and every one of you getting on with us. If you haven't already, please like to us right under right there. Right there.
Yep.
Scan that code. You can find you can find us all on our social media, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. But hit that YouTube, like, and subscribe. It only helps us out and supports us. So thank you guys once again. Next week we should be back on our regular schedule on Wednesday. So definitely go and see us on there. Thank you so much. We have a good one, and y'all enjoy y'all college football Saturday, man. I'm gonna enjoy it. Hope y'all do too. So,
yep.
Peace out. Have a good one. Peace.
Right.